Hello. I'm nervous. I feel like I haven't done this in such a long time. Let's do this. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Karina and I am an SLPA sharing my family, speech, and lifestyle here on YouTube. This video is all about what I've learned working with the birth to 3-year-old population. Now, in my previous videos, I've talked about like my past and where I currently work, which is a school now, but my very first job was working for early intervention. So I was going into homes and I was providing speech therapy for the little ones. Now, there's obviously like pros and cons, but this is kind of just my takeaways and what I've learned and taken with me into my career. This is not focusing on both the pros and cons. I do have another video speaking about that, which I can link in the description of this video, but this one particularly is only talking about like the positive things that I have taken with me and still keep with me today. Keep in mind, these are my opinions. This is in no way saying that this is how it'll be for you. If you are someone looking into becoming an SLPA, you may have a very different experience. I do think a lot of these things though are critical. I think the birth to 3-year-old population, there's so much to learn. I was overwhelmed with the information that you can learn, and I felt very lucky to be as little as I was. I believe I was 21 when I had first graduated, to have that as my first job. Early intervention, you just work with so many professionals, you know, physical therapy, you work with SLPs, of course, you work with occupational therapists, you work with so many people that have this abundance of knowledge, and it's never ending. You're consistently learning, oh, when they're born, this can happen, and then it can affect their speech. When they're 1-year-old, this can happen. Like, there's always something, and I personally really like that about this field. The number one thing that I have carried with me into the school setting, now that this is my 4th year working in the school setting, and I'm also a mother to a soon-to-be 2-year-old. So the number one thing that I can sit here and say is that quality play is so important for these kids. So important, more than you know. And I think that's been reiterated a lot on social media, and people like to kind of put this pressure on quality play or sitting down with your child and emphasize like no screen time and this and that. However, I mean quality play as in you are almost teaching them, almost like you're the one providing therapy for a bit. And this may look different, right? It doesn't mean you have to sit down for an hour block. It may be 15 minutes, 30 minutes. I don't know what that like time frame may look like for you, but I just know that I've taken with me quality play as in interacting and seeing their facial expressions and showing them a toy and seeing where they touch the toy, what grasps their interest immediately, what do they not like about the toy, which toys do they toss, seeing if they can like categorize toys or if they prefer red toys, like really diving into play and looking at all of these details is extremely important. Now, I've taken that with me working in the school setting, and looking back now, I can say that actually changed my sessions. I feel as though the times that I wasn't providing quality play with the little ones, you know, like pre-K, kinder, first grade, and I wasn't completely diving myself into the session, and if I was just taking notes, for example, on what they were doing, they would get easily distracted or seek more attention from me. And then obviously when I would go into the homes and early intervention, it was clear that the little ones enjoyed the attention from me. You know, as a stranger coming in, I feel like you would automatically jump to, this kid is not going to play with me, they're gonna cry, they're gonna scream, they're not going to be comfortable, because they're in a stage where, you know, like stranger danger, they don't want to see anyone they don't know. But it was very much the opposite. They enjoyed playing, even if it was just for an hour. They enjoyed seeing another face and having more interaction, that face-to-face interaction. There's just so much to take away from just quality play. So I urge you to do that, you know, if you're a mom or if you're an SLPA working with little ones, like really engage in this playtime. Number 2 is that modeling / talking / narrating your day goes extremely far. And I remember learning this in my undergrad, like school. I remember seeing it over and over and over that you should be narrating your day. I remember also before I became a mom, I would look a lot into like child development and newborns and how you would entertain a newborn and stuff, and a lot of people would recommend just simply narrating your day. Some people even recommend, you know, while you're pregnant, just narrate your day or read out loud because the baby is taking all of this in already. And it is so true. Now that I have a soon-to-be 2-year-old, he is repeating every little thing. If I were to show my son something about a pen, right? He may not know that this is a pen yet, but all day long, he's gonna come back after he hears me say it and refer to this as a pen. Mommy, pen, that pen. Oh, dad, that pen, 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 paper, pen. And I just hear the word all day. And it just lets me know like he's really listening and what I'm doing is super important, right? Talking about what I'm doing might feel weird at first, but think about it, like little ones are just taking in all this information. So if you're just sitting there with your newborn or 1-year-old, 6-month-old, whatever it is, and if you're cooking and you're engaging them and you have them with you, for example, you're carrying them and you're cooking, oh look, mommy's making some rice, I'm stirring the rice now, stirring, and you're just repeating things over and over and over. Or it could be as simple as, look, I'm gonna pour you a cup of milk. I'm pouring it now and I'm gonna open the lid. Here you go, you hold on to the lid. That stuff is crazy, right? That just narrating your day, like they're taking in all this language. So it's language that they're listening to. They're picking up, okay, this is a lid, this is that. There's so much going on. So again, whether you're a mom or an SLPA, I encourage you to do this as well. Number 3 is kind of from a mom perspective. Looking back now, when I was in early intervention, I found that a lot of parents felt almost scared to advocate for their kid. Not all the time, don't get me wrong, but I felt as though they were scared of opinions or the wrong opinion from a professional. And I use professional with quotation marks because at the end of the day, you know your baby best. And that is my number 3 tip. You know your baby best, whether you think you know all this information or if you don't. If you think your child is, not picking up the B sound, they're probably not, right? And it's not something that you should wait and see. It's not something that you should be scared about bringing up to a pediatrician or a speech therapist you may know, someone in the speech field. It's something that you should immediately ask. And I see that now, or I'm able to look back and think about it now, because in early intervention, I saw it more as I was just so young and parents were more timid. I'm not entirely sure why, but I would pick up on that behavior. And now that I'm in the school setting, I sometimes see that as well. Parents sometimes kind of tiptoe around the idea of speech therapy or getting a child tested. And it's, kind of sad, but obviously there are other parents who very much advocate for their kids and will stand by it until their kid gets tested, or parents in early intervention who will be there and interact with the child as they're supposed to. They will listen to your advice, take your advice, they will practice with the child and do everything in their power to get, their child talking. So number 3 is you always know your child best. That's a big takeaway that I've gotten from working with little ones. Number 4, I know not everyone's gonna agree. I completely know this, but it's okay. I stand by this. Not every toy is a quality toy. And it's sad to hear, right? Because sometimes it's easy to pick up a toy, for example, Cocomelon. My son very, very, very much loved Cocomelon about a year ago. Right now he's really into cars. However, when I see toys at Walmart or Target, Barnes & Noble, whatever store, I'm not very quick to pick it up. I actually try to speed past the area of Cocomelon toys or Cars toys more so electronics to me. That's personally what I don't consider a quality toy. But what I'm saying is not every toy is going to challenge your child, right? It's typically like the more boring toys, the wooden toys, the ones that require more imagination, toys that you're not just hitting a button, toys that often don't speak to you. I feel that there's a lot of toys out there that are marketed, for being like educational, or we will help your child read, we will help them learn their ABCs. And I feel like it's not doing that. For example, if you are just like passively tapping a sort of tablet or something that's meant for kids, or a phone for that matter, it's not teaching your child the ABCs. They're just hearing it over and over and over. And it doesn't mean that that's a quality toy. Does that make sense? Am I wording this right? That doesn't mean you're not going to see my son with these toys, because he very much has a Cocomelon phone. But he's not going... I'm not with the expectation that he's going to learn all of these different words from that, It's more of like okay, just sit and play with this, entertain yourself sort of thing. If I'm looking for educational quality toys, I'm more of the person to reach for like a wooden toy. Like I said, the ones that just require a little bit more imagination. That's why I really like Love Every. Like, they take all that work, that research out of like that age group, and I just buy the box, and then my son enjoys it and I feel good about it. I feel like he's really learning. For example, like the puzzles, he's learning all the animals, and I'm teaching him, this is a carrot, this is a cow, this is a horse. He's not just passively pressing a button like I mentioned earlier. But yes, that's another thing I have learned. 5, I was just talking to my family about this one and my boyfriend. I just feel like this age group, from birth to 3 years old, their development and the way you interact with them is crucial, right, to the rest of their life. This is going to shape them and ultimately determine the person that they are. And that sounds a bit scary. I remember when I first had my son, I felt that pressure. I felt like, oh my gosh, I have to be at home. I shouldn't even go to work. I should just stay home all day and play with my son all day. He needs me from birth to 3 years old. And I wish I could. If I could do everything, drop my job, drop everything in the world and just be with my son, I would. But unfortunately, I cannot. Their brain is still forming. And you hear it all the time. Like, the parent and baby relationship, like at this point in their lives, is the most important. You're the one who's going to nurture them. You're the one who's going to teach them. You should be the one, to discipline them, whatever that looks like. All these things should be directly from you. I'm saying it's crucial, so take it very seriously, right? Like, their diet is important. What you're feeding them is very important. If they're consistently eating chips, it's going to affect them and their behavior and their development. If you're having them sit in front of a screen for a majority of the day, it's going to affect them. I don't know, if you're having them drink juice all day, obviously that's going to impact them. Everything that you do for them at this point is important. And I didn't think like that when I worked in early intervention. Just over the years, I've seen that. I remember learning a lot about, how they're born, and the things that you do are very important. But I didn't actually start thinking about it until I became a mom myself. So sadly, it might take that, if you're not a mom already, to see that. But I also see that in the school setting, how children have been or were like in kinder, for example, and how something went on and then it affects them later. It's just something I've kind of carried with me. And the last one is tantrums. This was very hard, like a hard pill for me to swallow. Don't give in to tantrums, because it's something that they'll get over fairly quickly. And I'm able to say that now as a mother. Believe me, I have a whole video talking about how I've struggled with behavior in the past, in early intervention and in the school setting. More so in the school setting though, I feel as though I gave in a lot to kids running away from me, to kids wanting to go back to class, to kids talking back. In early intervention, I didn't see that as often, just because the family is there. So if things kind of got out of hand, or before they escalated to the extreme cases, parents would step in and typically handle their children or settle them down in different ways. But in the school setting, it was very hard, because it's only you and, the group of kids, or only you and that one student that you're working with. So it was very difficult to learn those like behavior management skills. But looking back now, I wish I didn't give into it. I wish I would just, you know, set the expectation at the very beginning of the year. This is what we're doing. This is what you are expected to do. You know that. Now we will go on, and treat them that way. I wish I would have given the kids a little bit more I wish I had higher expectations for a lot of the students that I've worked with in the past, and I feel as though I just gave into the tantrums, like the messy behavior. I gave into, stop doing that. No, you're not gonna run away from me. It was very hard. So don't be me. Don't give into tantrums, because I promise they'll get over it fairly quickly if you're ignoring them. You know, if you just, again, set the expectation, be a little bit firm, and just don't give in to them. That's like the best advice I could give. That kind of wraps things up. I feel like I talked a lot. I'm literally just sitting here, but I didn't even get to show you guys my cup. This is a coffee cup, and it says Nestle Abuelita. How cute, right? So my mom made this. She makes tumblers. She used to. She still does, just not as often. And now she sells glitter. And she has her business called Rocky Road Creations. It's named after our dog. Actually, our dog name is Rocky. Super cute, right? And I didn't even sip on this coffee like I wanted to during this video. But yeah, so you need a tumbler like this in your life. Isn't it just so cute? I love it. Anyway, that is all that I have for you all today. I hope you were able to learn something, and if you did like this video, please make sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel as well. It'll mean so much to me. I will catch you all in my next one. Bye.